Well, record gas prices and inflation, and now we have real concerns about food shortages, not just because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but mostly because of fertilizer jumping in costs because its major ingredient is a fossil fuel. That's where President Biden's incredible transition energy plans have gotten us. Taking a look at today's national gas average report ahead of Memorial Day weekend, we are seeing a big jump in prices. I guess we'll get that up in a minute. There it is. Let's welcome to the show Fox News contributor and senior market analyst at the Price Futures Group, Phil Flynn. Phil, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Dave.
Let me talk about food shortages because they are directly related to this war on fossil fuels. Fertilizer went up 80%. Not after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but in 2021. Long before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, it went up 80%. Since 2022, by the way, and of course, it was at the end of, the end of January, beginning of February when we had the invasion, it's up 30%, but 80% increase in 2021. And that's because the main ingredient in fertilizer is natural gas. And there's a war on fossil fuel, including natural gas. And that's really what caused the cost of fertilizer to jump, is it not?
It is. In fact, if you look at the price of natural gas today, it went above $9 a million metric BTU. That's the highest price we've seen since the financial crisis back in 2008. That's scary in and of itself. And when we talk about fertilizer and high prices, high input costs, it's bad enough for countries that can afford it. Where I really feel bad is a lot of poor countries won't be able to afford it, and that's going to be leading to starvation and other things. And the sad part about this, Dave, it's avoidable. The natural gas situation has been made worse by the federal ban on drilling, because about 20% of our natural gas production comes from federal lands. And so when we shut that down and those wells deplete, production doesn't go to where it should be. And when that doesn't happen, you see supplies where they're at now at the lowest level they've been in many years for the year.
And we should mention, by the way, wheat prices are affected, obviously, by the war in Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine combined make up 25% of the world's wheat production. So that does have effect. But wheat prices, like fertilizer, had their biggest jump in 2021, another 80% rise in 2021. Now, you're in Chicago, you deal mostly with energy, but you know a lot of traders who trade in food products, and they've seen this wheat price increase for a long time, long before Russia went into Ukraine.
They have, Dave, I'm down on the Board of Trade floor in the grain room, and believe it or not, I trade soybeans and ethanol and all of those things. And all of these are being impacted by bad energy policy. I mean, you can't make a story to change this, because at the end of the day, when you look at the input costs across the board, just to plant grains, right? You have to put diesel fuel in the tractors. You have to use natural gas to make the fertilizer. And when you restrict the supplies of that and those prices go up, it goes to the cost of food and the production of food, which is going to be lower than it would have been, if it was easy to get those supplies and keep it cheap.
Yeah. Now, Biden's willing to accept this incredible transition, as he calls it, as a cost of dealing with global warming, et cetera. But I don't think most Americans are. Do you?
No, but I think it's incredible that he finally took responsibility for it openly, right? He can deny it. Our policies have had nothing to do with this. The drilling bans and regulations, pipelines, nothing to see here. And at the same time, talking about natural gas prices, record highs, this is the same president that promised our natural gas supply to Europe.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, and so many of his moves keep making things worse. That now the Biden administration says it has not ruled out export curbs to ease fuel prices. Now, we know that their release of the reserves, massive release of our petroleum reserves, have not done anything to bring down the price of oil. And I don't think this would ease fuel prices either. Do you?
It would make it worse. And it's a total misunderstanding of how the global energy market works. Listen, the export ban is like shutting our door after the horses left because we've already exported our entire SPR to other countries, right?
Yes.
Now we're going to be blocking at the exports with it and replacing it with the U.S. oil that isn't in favor by our refiners. And now we're telling countries like India, South Korea, stop importing oil from Russia. Well, if we keep sending it to them, where are they going to get it?
Yeah, yeah. By the way, very quickly, you've got a scoop that the Saudis, despite the fact that they're ticked off at us, there's a delegation from the Biden administration going to see the Saudi Arabians to try to get them to pump more oil to lower prices. They've been ineffective at any other method of trying to lower prices. Will they have any effect in this bid?
I don't know, but I will tell you this. This is a total reversal of policy from Joe Biden, making Saudi Arabia a pariah state. And he's going back to the Trump era policies of engaging Saudi Arabia, which is going to be good because I think at least we'll get some oil from them.
Of course, the Saudis hate the idea of a new Iranian deal. They don't like the Iranians. They feel they're a threat to their nation's future. So it's going to take some arm twisting to get the Saudis to go our way if they're going to continue with uranium. Maybe that'll be part of the Saudis' cost to us. We'll say, okay, if you get rid of the Iran deal, we'll pump more oil. That may happen, but we'll wait and see. Phil, thank you for that scoop, by the way. It was a very interesting scoop that you provided us with, and we appreciate your analysis.